Hey, what's up, everyone? This is me, Dre. And I was just on Facebook today, checking out some news feeds on my page, and I came across this one interesting story about these two women, two white women, two lesbians, to be more specific. They were suing a sperm bank. Now, let me just go ahead and read this story. Now, the two women, Jennifer Cramblett and Amanda Zincon, they went into a sperm bank, want to have a child. They asked for some white sperm. The sperm bank gave them black sperm. The power of blackness compels you. So when they realized that they were given black sperm, it was already too late. Jennifer, the one who was pregnant, she realized that she was going to have a biracial child. Looking at the picture of the child, absolutely gorgeous little baby. She just turned 2 this past August. But all the same, they're suing the sperm bank. And I can certainly understand because of, that is a major oversight. But let me just go ahead and read a little bit more here. They're suing the sperm bank for wrongful birth and breach of warranty, citing the emotional and economical losses she suffered. Emotional, we look at this child, I would be emotional because it's a beautiful child. The fact that she's biracial, they're too busy worried about the community, and I'll read more into that. But let's just go on here. Cramblett and her partner have stated that there are challenges to raising Peyton in a small, virtually all-white town of Uniontown, Ohio. Cramblett stated that in the lawsuit that she was raised in a community that held racially intolerant beliefs about people of color. Cramblett did not meet any black Americans until she attended college. The lawsuit states that it is because of her upbringing that Jennifer acknowledges her limited cultural competency relative to African Americans and steep learning curve, particularly in small, homogeneous Uniontown, which she regards as too racially intolerant. Just because she was raised in a racially intolerant small town doesn't mean that she has to be racially intolerant. She looks at this child, she gave birth to this child, and it's living proof because you hear stupid shit when you see some of the videos from Aryan Nation and KKK about race mixing, as they call it. But this is a beautiful child, 5 fingers, 5 toes, 2 eyes, the nostrils, the ears, anatomically the same as these women. The only thing that differs between them is the child has a bit more melanin than the two mothers do. So, and the child at 2 years old, I'm guessing right now, she's speaking. The communication and the process of teaching this child to communicate is no different than a white child. So these bitches are too busy worried about what people in their community are thinking when they're adults. They don't have to fucking answer to how people feel about this child. Keep in mind, it's a small, racially intolerant community, but this is a country that still has an issue with race, yes, of course, but also there's a lot of places in this country that are very intolerant of same-sex relationships. You have the Westboro Baptist Church, who has made themselves famous, or infamous, I should say, because of their stance on not interracial relationships, but same-sex marriage and same-sex relationships. You have this jackass, Phil Robertson from Duck Dynasty, preaching on the news, and people love him to death and take his word as gospel. Once again, I think he's a complete jackass because he's too busy worried about spreading the word of God, but God doesn't teach intolerance or hate. So I don't know where that's coming from, but once again, people will latch onto that like lemmings and jump over the cliff with him. And then, of course, you have state legislation in many areas that are trying to ban same-sex marriage. And these bitches are too worried about what their community thinks simply because they have a biracial child without thinking about how this child growing up is going to have all these questions bombarding her as far as who she is and what her identity or how she identifies herself, because that's what happens to biracial kids. I've got 3 biracial kids, and my oldest, she's been asked, what is she? She's been confused as being Hispanic because she's not as dark as I, but she's not as pasty white as her mother. But all 3 of my kids, neither one of them are dark, although my youngest, she's the darker of the 3, being half Mexican, whereas the other 2 are half white. So I just don't understand. And I've always taught my kids, and this is one thing that I would recommend to Jennifer and Amanda, is to teach your child that as long as you bleed red blood, you're only a part of one race, the human race. That's my recommendation to these two parents, because you can't live to please your community. Live to please yourselves, which is why the two of you are together, which is why the two of you have chosen to have a child. But because it didn't go your way, yes, I would say take legal action because of that oversight. But now that this child is here, you have one of two choices. Raise this child, love this child as your own, or give her up for an adoption to someone who will take her. And believe me, as cute as this little child is, I would be the father happily, because that child will be loved. She will learn that she's human. She will understand that people, no matter what color they are people. And there's going to be ignorance in the world. Teach your child that, but don't let your child become a part of it. That's my recommendation. This story right here pissed me off because, once again, I am a father of 3 biracial children, but I've never taught my kids that because of my black half that that half is more superior than the other half. There's something great about my children and children of biracial ethnicity, because the world is changing, and this country is built upon people of different cultures. There's always going to be racism. Can't stop that. But educating ourselves because of the racism, that's my job that I've taught to my kids. So I just wanted to share this story. I'm going to leave a link for those who are interested in reading up on it. And of course, with this video, always share your comments because they're welcome. Press that like button, mash the fuck out of that like button if you understand where I'm coming from, and share with your friends. Once again, the growth of my channel is contingent upon great people like yourselves who are viewing and really get the message. For those that don't like it, if you decide to come to this page and troll, that's entirely up to you. I'm going to have my responses to that. I'm not going to give too much attention to it because there are a lot of people who have a very open mind, and I certainly appreciate that. But all the same, please like, subscribe, and share. Peace.